Hey everyone, welcome to My Story interview series. Before we get started with my story, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Haven't filed in many years? No problem. Owed IRS? No problem. Not sure how to file a tax return? No problem. At Eminent Financial Services, we have seen almost every scenario imaginable. With our 11 years of existence as a company, we have been able to help all of our clients find a light through the darkness. No problem. So give us a call today at 501-216-4278 or visit us on our website at thesumofitall.net. Eminent Financial Services, the sum of all your financial needs.
Hi, my name is Wendy Williams. As I look back on my days as a frontline worker, spending countless hours and time away from my husband and my family, I realized I was not in a good space until I discovered that I could create my own schedule, allowing me more freedom and flexibility to build a jewelry empire from the comfort of my own home. If you are someone who loves taking selfies, dressing fly, and wearing jewelry, then my team and I would love to have a cash conversation with you. Text the word SELECT ME to 501-200-3076.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when and where you're watching this live stream or catching the hashtag replay of this live stream. I'm your host, Kevin Williams with Arkansas Black Business. My Story series. My story is brought to you by Eminent Financial Services. Now, I have never had this show brought to you by the same person or people that I'm going to be interviewing. So you know that there's some brand recognition with that. Today we have in the virtual building a CPA-preneur. Please welcome Michael Pridgeon, CPA with Eminent Financial Services. Michael King, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Kevin. How about yourself?
My brother, I'm doing extremely well. So, Michael, before we kind of dive into the particulars of what I'm going to be asking you today, if you would, share with us your story of how you began the journey of becoming a CPA today, if you would.
Okay, Kevin. Well, I began my journey like anybody else. I went to school and received my degree. My degree was in accounting, and I got it in 2005, and then I received my master's degree in business from Webster in 2011. I started taking my CPA exam in 2007, but was not focused enough to pass the exam. So, long story short, fast forward to 2018, and I finally passed all sections of the exam to receive my license. But it initially started when I wanted to go into a psychology for my degree while I was in undergrad. But then talked to a friend when I was going to Arkansas Tech University, and he told me that he wanted to go into accounting. And I was like, accounting? That sounds like math. He was like, yeah. And I was like, well, how much does an accountant make? He was like, well, most of them start out around 80,000. I was like, 80,000 starting out? Okay, I could probably get used to this. So I already love math in all of my subjects in elementary, high school, and college. That it just was a natural fit for me. So when I had my first accounting class at UALR, I instantly fell in love with it and have not looked back since. So that's the gist of my story, and here I am today.
So, Michael, it kind of sounds like there was some influence, on your decision to, take this path. Now, were there any family members that were in, like accounting or math or anything, or are you the first of your family to even get into this type of business?
To my knowledge, Kevin, I believe I am the first to get into this type of business. Um, my family comes uh, from service workers to janitorial business owners to serial entrepreneurs. However, no one stood out as far as administrative and financial.
Okay. Now it's time to dive into some meat and potatoes. The first thing that's kind of hot out here on the surface, Michael, other than the word entanglement, the next hottest topic out here is these SBA loans, or what we call SBA COVID-19 loans, and there have been quite a few entrepreneurs and business owners who have been getting denied. And I wanted to, know from your professional standpoint, why are, these businesses and entrepreneurs, typically, why are they being denied the SBA COVID-19 loans?
Well, one of the things that a lot of small businesses typically do, because there is, um, you know, mass amount of commingling of funds from business to personal and personal to business, that most of the time small business entrepreneurs do not pay in estimated taxes. So therefore, when they go to file their tax returns, they're maximizing their deductions to either receive a loss or have a low tax liability. So with that being said, the loans that are out there, the PPP especially, are derived and based on the payroll tax form. So if there's a small business owner that does not have employees, that person has to use the Schedule C, and that Schedule C has to show some form of profit. And then other calculations involved usually mean that if that person maximized their deductions for a low tax liability, then there's not going to be a substantial amount of money available to them because those they do not have any income to show. So the other thing would be that, if they need the money, they would have to file payroll tax forms. And usually, again, those forms are not filed timely or filed at all. So when they go to file these applications, they'll end up with penalties and late fines and things like that, to where it's more disadvantageous, if I said that right. It's more as a disadvantage to those business owners that try to get those PPP funding.
Okay. The other question to that is, you always make a tagline or a statement about your business. You're always saying that lending institutions want to see your financial statements and not your bank statements. Can you break that down to help the entrepreneurs, the business owners understand what are you actually saying behind that?
Well, what I'm saying basically with that, Kevin, is that the IRS does not want to look at your bank statements. They want to look at your financial statements. Well, if you're in a business and you're trying to run your business legitimately, your business is based on how are you monitoring your business performance. So if all you do is deposit and withdraw from your bank account, there's no true record of what you actually spend that money on. The IRS just knows that you're spending money as well as getting money put into your bank account. Where's that money coming from? Is that money coming from customers, or is it coming from the services or products that you provide? No one knows, and you can't get that information from a bank statement. So therefore, the information has to come from a financial statement, preferably a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet. So if you do not have the knowledge firsthand to prepare those statements, then it would be within your best interest as a business owner to get some form of advisor, whether it's a bookkeeper, a tax preparer, or a CPA to help you with these things that you do not have a vast amount of knowledge of.
All right. So, there's a question circling, within the entrepreneur and business owner community. And the questions always come up, how do I get my PPP loan forgiving? So can you kind of give us some insight on, the criteria that has to be met in order to have the PPP portion of it forgiven?
All right. Well, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that information is available on the SBA.gov website. So if you want more information about loan forgiveness, SBA.gov will provide accurate information based on what I say here. Also, any banks that you use to get your PPP funding with will also provide information about loan forgiveness. But typically, and what's been written up is that the SBA PPP loans can be forgiven if those loans are used primarily for payroll and or rent and utilities. Only a certain percentage can be used towards rent and utilities to the tune, I think, between 20 to 25% at max. However, the PPPs are usually spread out over 8 weeks of payroll, and those funds have to be used towards payroll, whether you're paying employees to stay employed or you're paying yourself to help you keep the business open. So you want to make sure that you have sufficient records to show that you've done your due diligence and um, within your legal right to report this information so that you can get it forgiven. Otherwise, the PPP loans come with a 2-year payback, which those payments begin 6 months after receiving the funds.
Okay. Now let's kind of shift gears for a moment and let's talk about, what is the EIDL, because I know there's the PPP and then there's also the EIDL. So can you kind of explain to us what is the EIDL, the purpose of it, and how does it work?
Well, the EIDL is short for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And so um, the SBA and the federal government put that in place for business owners to apply for these loans in the event of natural disasters. So the EIDL is not necessarily a new thing. However, it's become more popular because of COVID-19. With any hurricanes, earthquakes, or natural fires, um, the government usually deems certain areas as natural disasters. So those business owners can go back and create an account with the SBA to apply for EIDL funding. However, the EIDL funding does have a bit of requirements to apply. Um, One of those requirements is that you can't be in bankruptcy, and that's also the same requirement for the PPP. Another is having a sufficient credit score. I do not know the exact credit score that is needed to be approved, but if your credit is in, somewhat of bad shape, you're more likely not going to get approved. Also, the type of business that you have, because if you have a business, especially in a pandemic where it's hard to earn money based on social distancing rules, then you might not be a good candidate for an EIDL loan. But other businesses that are sustaining, that can maintain payments with EIDL funding, will more likely get approved, as opposed to a business that, like a restaurant, that may not have a chance of surviving through this. So with that, the PPP payment requirements are a lot shorter than the EIDL. The EIDL has a payback term of 30 years. The interest rate is a little higher. The payback period doesn't begin until 1 year after you receive the funds. So if you know that you can potentially qualify, I would advise everyone that's listening to this video to try to apply. And you can apply at SBA.gov very easily. If you need assistance, you definitely can call me or email me for any loan application assistance.
So, Michael, can the PPP and the EIDL be for the same business? And can it also be for a whole different business that you have, as long as your tax ID is totally different? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, and I'd like to say, for those that have talked to me earlier, um, I received some new information. So if you have more than one business with different EIN numbers, you can apply for EIDL funding as well as PPP funding for any of those businesses. You can be the owner of more than one business. And I say that because, again, there are businesses out there that have broken the rules because the rules are not laid out black and white. Now, I'm not encouraging you to deliberately break a law or anything like that, because that's not something that CPA should do in good faith. However, uh, there is a thin line between doing something that's right as opposed to not knowing what is right. In this case, no one knows what's right because the literature is not clear on who can apply, who cannot apply, what businesses can apply, what businesses cannot apply. And so therefore, if you have a business, you have a better chance at just attempting to apply rather than not applying at all. So if you are struggling in this season of a pandemic, then you want to give yourself a fighting chance for your business and apply at all costs. So different EIN, apply. If you have employees that you paid, apply. If you have employees that you haven't paid, apply. Just give yourself a fighting chance in this business, especially as a minority business owner, where we do not have certain structures set up like other bigger businesses. So again, through all of this, give yourself a fighting chance.
Okay. Now, I know that there are requirements that has to be met when you are applying for these loans. And I know in the very beginning, Michael, we all got excited when we heard that the government was, giving out loans, and we was out there applying. And again, unfortunately, we didn't have the proper documentation. So what documentation is required for the possibility of even qualifying for the loan?
Well, the first possibility is that you have to have a tax return. They tell you that you can have your 2018 tax return or you can have your 2019 tax return. For your 2018, it has to be filed and accepted by the IRS. For your 2019, it does not have to be filed. But if you do apply using your information for 2019 and the information has not been submitted, my advice to you would be to be careful what you send, because if you apply for any type of financing and those tax returns are different from what the bank received, then you could open yourself up to a bit of trouble, because that is fraud in the broad sense. So other other documents that are needed would be your profit and loss statement. They're not asking for a balance sheet, so you want to have some record of all of your revenues as well as your expenses. So if you have, let's say that you have a business where you took a loss, but that loss is mostly in depreciation because of the bonus rules that allow you to take 100% depreciation for a first year purchase, then that's different compared to your income statement, where your income statement, you for cash purposes, you may show a higher profit, and then accrual basis, you may show a lower because of the allowed depreciation for your tax return. So it's a matter of discretion on what the bank asks for, but typically they're asking for tax returns and financial statements. Bank statements is not going to help you.
Look, I know that now, working with you. Mike, if someone can't qualify for either loan, are there any other type of financial assistance out there for those individuals?
There is, but you have to get deep into the web to find it. Like more recently, I was fortunate enough for my business. I was fortunate enough to apply for a business grant for minority businesses through Lowe's and also PayPal. Um, and it's just by circumstance that I just happened to be online and found something. So that's one of the ways. Other than that, just pay attention to the votes that goes into Congress. Right now, there's currently a vote a vote that was made in the House, but has yet to be decided on by the Senate in terms of the second stimulus package. So that second stimulus package may include some additional resources for small businesses, because we may go into another cycle where we may be shut down in quarantine in the last quarter of the year.
I guess this is the last question, but it's definitely one of the most important questions that need to be asked of you, Michael. When is the deadline to file your federal taxes?
The deadline to file your federal taxes, Kevin, is July 15th. But if you need to extend your taxes, you are allowed an automatic 6-month extension. The 6-month extension goes from the original due date, which was April 15th, to October 15th. So if you file an extension on July 15th to extend your taxes because you do not have your taxes completed, the extension will cover you to October 15th. And like I always say, the extension is an extension to file, not an extension to pay. So if you owe, pay as much as you can on July 15th to avoid higher penalties and interest because you did not pay. So at least pay all that you can, or if you have enough information to say, well, I know I'm going to owe the IRS. So if you owe the IRS $5,000 and if you don't have 5,000, maybe pay 1,000 so you can lower some of your penalties and interest. But do pay by July 15th. The July 15th date was the due date of to extend the payment and the due date to file, but mainly the date to pay, because most of the people that were getting their taxes done um, were at a point of job loss then. So they did not necessarily have the money to pay. And it's just, just a professional, assumption based on what we're all dealing with right now.
Michael, if you would share with the viewers and the viewers that's going to come back and watch this replay, give a breakdown of the services that your company provides. Whether it's individuals, entrepreneurs, business owners. But I think giving a breakdown of what your company provides lets people know, okay, yeah, I need him for that, or yeah, I need him for that, or yeah, I need him for everything he just said. But yeah, share with us the services that you provide.
Well, Kevin, we provide one, accounting services, which include bookkeeping and accounting consultations. We provide business consulting, IRS representation. So if you have IRS issues that you need to present to the IRS to get resolved, we can definitely help you resolve those issues. We provide credit repair, personal as well as business credit repair, and also credit building services. We also provide financial planning, whether it's personal or business. So if you're a individual that's looking to gain some knowledge about setting up a budget at home, and you want to operate under that budget, we can definitely assist you with that, as well as if you're a business that's needing to create a budget so that you do not overspend with the revenues that you receive, we can definitely assist you with that. And last but not least, we definitely do taxes. So been doing taxes since 2006. I have quite a bit of experience in all forms of tax returns. So if you want to utilize me, come test my knowledge, I definitely can assist you with that.
And Michael, the one thing I have to give you credit for, because I know, you being my CPA personally, of the companies that I deal with, the one thing I always have to give you credit for is that even though people hear all the things that your company provides, what they don't realize is that you built a team around you. Like, you don't personally do credit restoration. You just brought a credit improvement specialist on your team that can work with the different clientele that you have who may have, credit challenges. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because what I think what people need to truly know about you is that you stay in your lane, and your lane is doing CPA work and things like that. But you have put a team around you that can accommodate the different needs that clients have. Now, the final question I want to ask you, and then of course, for those of you that want to learn more about Michael Charles Pridgeon, CPA with Eminent Financial Services, simply just text the word EFS to 501-588-7803. You're going to get an instant reply message back to your phone on everything you need to know about Eminent Financial Services, their business page on Facebook, their website. Even if you want to schedule a consultation, there's a link for that as well for you to get in contact with their office. But Michael, what's the one thing that you want the viewers to walk away with, even if they never ever get in touch with you? What's the one thing that you want them to always think about when it comes to this space of accounting and bookkeeping, and setting up business entities correctly? Like, what's the one thing you want people to walk away with from today's live stream?
Well, Kevin, I may get a bit long-winded in this because it's a bit of my passion, and my passion is to help others. One thing I do want people to understand and realize that I love doing what I do. I have a passion for helping people. I have a passion for seeing people empowered. If you look at my logo, you see a man lifting up the world because I want to help people lift their problems up above them to help them move forward in life and whatever it is. So that's one main thing. The other thing is that I want people to realize is that um, we're in a situation where we have to be the most careful, and you want to lean on your advisors. You want to lean on the people that have studied and received the knowledge that they need to give to you in order to help you. Mainly your doctors, your lawyers, your accountants, and some tax preparers. I'm not all tax preparers, but some. And I say that because with what's going on, I noticed that there's a lot of fraudulent activity going on. And so to my clients and to the people that's watching, I just want you all to be aware of the people that are not in it to help you, but in to create an advantage for themselves and not so much an advantage for you. Because if you have people out there that's trying to help you get a PPP loan and you and they help you get approved, but the approval for the loan is $1.2 million, and you've never done $1.2 million in your business, then there's no reason for you to take that to sign that loan and be approved for that because there's no way you can prove that you can spend that loan in 8 months, not 8 months, in 8 weeks for your payroll needs as well as your business needs. Now, you probably could, but it definitely is not going to be the truth. So therefore, you don't you don't want to sign up for that. And then even with that being said, people that create an advantage for themselves are usually trying to take the highest percentage out of what they can get from you. So if someone comes to you and say, "Hey, I can help you, but it's going to cost you 10,000 for me to help you," that's not real help, you know. So with anybody that I help, they know that a lot of things that I do for them, I do not charge. Um, I don't see the benefit, although I could, but it's not within me to charge somebody for something that I know I can get done within 5 to 10 minutes. So therefore, just lean on your advisors, lean on the people that are really there for you during this time and that can truly help you with what they know, not the people that's trying to create an advantage for you. And as well as if you're trying to create an advantage for yourself, then just know that you will be caught. Um, these loans require you to have certain records. For EIDL, there's a 3-year record keeping requirement, and you have to have receipts and checks as well as information pertaining to the purchases that were used from those funds. So if you do not keep up with any of this money, you're more likely going to be in a situation where you have a fraud penalty, which could result in double the amount of what you originally took. So don't get yourself in anything that's in over your head, and just be careful. Be careful for yourself. Be careful for your family.
And so, Michael, in closing, let me just say this. Right now is probably the most economical time for you to hire a CPA like Michael Pridgeon. And let me tell you why. And I'm going to close out with this. It's always more economical to hire someone when you're, getting things together. It costs you more when you bypass someone like Michael Pridgeon, CPA, and you start doing underground things, and then underground becomes above ground because the Department of Justice and the IRS and the Inspector, General for the SBA all come knocking at your door, and now you need to hire a CPA to represent you, right? Well, see, at that point, what was maybe $1,000 or $1,500 to hire Michael in the very beginning to help you. See, now it's going to cost you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, and maybe $30,000. Why? Because there is more work that he has to do now. And that's just to retain Michael when you get in trouble with the IRS or the Department of Justice or the Inspector General or all three of them combined. That's just to retain him. And that may provide you 40 hours of work. But he already knows there's going to be a lot of work done to get you in the best position possible. So when is the best time to hire a CPA? Now o'clock, like right now, like literally looking at your phone right now saying, oh, you know what? Let me, Kevin, right. Let me text Michael Pridgeon right now. As a matter of fact, let me just text the word EFS to 501-588-7803 because I need to talk to him now. Why it's not really costing me anything right now. So Michael, as always, brother, you welcome to this show anytime. As much money you spend over here, hey, you look, all you gotta do is just say, I need to be back on the show. I'm gonna move stuff around to put you in the slot to come back on this show, brother. But as always, we appreciate everything you do for the community, and just the humanitarianism that you are as an individual, man. We appreciate it. And again, thanks for being on this show. My name is Kevin Williams. I'm your host with Arkansas Black Businesses, another My Story interview series. Thanks for joining us.